Happy Wednesday, and that means today is going to be a Stud City Unhinged Ask Me Anything. For those of you who are new to the series or channel, if you comment below all the questions you have, I'll be sure to answer them. So drop a comment on some things you're curious about my life, Lego, wife, and anything else in between. With that being said, let's jump straight on into today's video. Now, normally we've just done one single comment, but I've seen a lot of input and I appreciate it. So I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can from last week's video. So the first question here, we have Garayota asking, did your wife always like Lego too, or did you have to convert her to the hobby? And this is surprisingly a really interesting question. That's not for the first time I've ever answered, but I started dating my wife in around 2017, 2018, somewhere in that ballpark. I was a freshman in college, so roughly 19 years old as we started dating. At the time, I had this much Lego. So maybe I was lucky, maybe she's lucky, but I had no Lego at the time. My life really revolved around football, soccer, and that was basically a short story there. Truly, that's it. As life kind of progressed, I slowly transitioned away from the lifestyle of college sports and started working and doing other things to pass my time and other things that I enjoy. And one of those things was Lego, at least building Lego. I was always a reseller in college to fund my hobbies and university and tuition and all that in life. So anyways, when I met my wife, no Lego. As I met her as a girlfriend, even not girlfriend, no Lego. And then girlfriend, we were kind of journeyed Lego together, which was pretty cool. So I don't know, take that with how you will. Well, that's the story. Next question is coming from Clutch, and he says, for the next episode, how much of the total have you sold as a Lego reseller? Following up from our last AMA video where I went through some of the price tags on how much I've spent across a few different platforms, and it's a substantial amount of money, but you can go back to see some of the details in that video. Anyways, also says, maybe you can have an accountant on as a guest and walk through how you track inventory when you buy in bulk and how you sell minifigs of a set. Honestly, Clutch, I think that is a great idea. I'm actually, time of recording, meeting with a new accountant to hire to do some of that stuff. So I will keep that in mind for a future, but I think it's a very interesting question that I wanted to bring up and of course answer as a reseller. I've resold so much in so many different ways. I have not tracked it nearly enough in 2025. I've tracked it throughout 2025, but those numbers are very early and I don't like to do a final report for the year. So I'm just going to share some of the 2024 stuff where I had kind of offloaded locally and Lego conventions and to friends selling at Lego conventions, which was a great way of selling because, well, it was someone already in the niche and they were able to send over payment via cash or check or just someone I kind of trusted. So it made my life super easy and was something I really, really enjoy doing, being involved in convention selling and all that good stuff. Our next question is coming from Kinetic Games, and this one is a little bit long, but it says, I've been investing for around 6 months. The channel has been awesome. Join the Discord server. It's truly an amazing place for Lego deals, so I'm glad that's helping. I love that's something that I can invest in that I actually enjoy and find interesting. I think that's also a really good statement because investing can be boring, it can be not exciting, and at that point, why do it if you don't enjoy it? So Lego investing has always been something I've been interested in, and again, I think I could relate there, being one of the reasons I've enjoyed it. He says, I make sure to swipe the card responsibly after allocating the retirement and savings first. I think that's a great plan. Not financial advice. I spent around $4,000, an estimated value of my collection to be $5K. Everything I bought so far is at least increased 20% discounted, like the Black Pearl with double points and GWPs, which are great ways of buying Lego for discount. I was wondering if you have ever considered opening a bricks and mortar store to get distributor pricing. And honestly, Kinetic, I think that's an awesome question. And thank you for the backstory and learning about some of your investments. It's awesome to see a 20% increase in price over such a short amount of time. Hopefully that continues and tenfolds for you, right? But to answer your question, I don't think I'd ever order a brick and mortar store, a brick and mortar store, like a bricks and minifigs. It's just not for me. If anything, I'd open a Stud City store under my own name, under my own licensing. It doesn't have to be Stud City, but I would name it something that I would find meaningful, right? And I would just truly go out on my own, kind of do it. I just don't find the sense for Someone like myself to open up a store and pay them like royalty rights, I just don't think that's worth it for me. So for me, that would be a no. I'd operate under a different name that I would choose. But with that being said, would I do that? And I just don't know if I want to. At this point in my time, I really enjoyed selling on eBay and doing kind of live sales and live streaming because I love live streaming with you guys. We do our first of the month live streams, and it's something I look forward to every single month. And if not, multiple times a month with all these new Lego releases and all the like Amazon Prime Day, Black Fridays, Cyber Mondays, all that stuff. I really look forward to that stuff. So taking away time from that honestly isn't my interest. Even if it increased profit or all that good stuff, I really am not interested in it. I'd rather focus my time on the live streams, which is something I really enjoy doing with you guys. Our next question here is coming from Unstoppable Speed. And he says, do you have any other hobbies besides collecting Lego? And the answer to that is, I guess I have a multitude of hobbies. I like to live a crazy lifestyle. I love traveling, and I don't mean just traveling down the street. I love going to foreign countries as much as I can, foreign places, and just totally putting myself in really weird situations. I think in 2025, I went to Europe twice and Asia once and traveled to probably over 8 or 9 different states throughout the entire year, which is quite significant. So I spent a lot of time on the road or traveling, either with my wife or for Lego conventions and Lego events. So with that being said, I think traveling is definitely up my alley, and I will continue to do that in the near future. Also, aside from that, I go for a run every single day. I can count the days on my hand on how many I missed in 2025. And honestly, I can count the number of days I missed looking back probably in the last 3 years, which is pretty crazy and pretty significant and something that I'm really proud of. But I do take in mind, I really appreciate my body. I know I only have one body, so I focus on eating, I'm gonna say that with a side face, eating the right foods. I eat like chocolate chip cookies literally every single night, but I exercise regularly and I take care of my body as best as I can because it's really important to me. So I consider that a hobby. Aside from that, another one I really enjoy doing is learning. I think setting a time aside to learn, aka reading, courses, surrounding yourself with others who, inspire you, all of these things are a factor of that, and it's something I really enjoy doing. So take that with what you will. And our next question here is going to be from King. And he says, the logical next question is, how do you afford to spend $100,000 a year on Lego? And that's honestly a great question. And this is also referring to our last AMA video where we talked about some of the prices that I've spent on Lego. And truly it came out to almost nearly $100,000 amount of Lego each year. And the best answer I have to that is I like to keep the funds and grow into whatever I'm doing. So what does that mean? So an example here is, obviously I didn't start with $100,000 buying in Lego. I started with, $500, $500, 500 or 1,000 or then to 10,000. So it ended up scaling, and I like to scale everything that I do. Many of the businesses that I do run, I like to scale. I like to start small and have a X amount of numbers that I was like, if I lost all of this, I would say, dang, this sucks. I don't think I'll throw more at it, but I won't lose sleep at night. I mean, I will, but I'll be okay, right? We'll be okay. And I start with that amount and then I scale it. And this has gone for many of the businesses that I've started and ran in the last few years. And Lego is just one of those things. With reselling, I started with $0. Yes, pretty crazy, right? I think I've shared this story before, but if not, I shared it in my book. And it was talking about how it was either shoes or Lego sets, reselling any item. And I don't think it matters which item it is, but I'd hit clearance stores and I didn't have a lot of money in college. I really didn't. And I would run to these clearance stores and I would take pictures of these items and list them on Facebook Marketplace. And if they sold, I wouldn't buy them then. If they sold, I'd run back and have a meet and greet to exchange these goods relatively close so I could pick it up, meet the end buyer, and sell the product. And I think that's a very creative way of selling an item for more. And I think that's a very, wall to hit in far as scaling, and you can definitely see how that would be hard to scale given your time is very incentivized, right? So anyways, you take that, you start small, and then you recycle the money, you reinvest the money. And I've done that. I don't think I've ever taken like profit Stud City. I don't think I've always used Stud City to fund more Stud City. We've done bigger, crazier, more giveaways, more streams, more travel, like all of these things just compounding, more inventory, like all of these things just continue to reinvest. And like at some point, if we're doing super well, I don't know, maybe I'll go on a vacation that's just non-Lego related, but I don't have any desire for that. So I always like to wrap my trips around Lego because there's Lego everywhere and I get to meet amazing Lego people and all that. So why would I not want to do that? So with that being said, I think that's a great way of how I scaled up like the $100,000 price tag on Lego, because I've reinvested so much of the profit from investing in Lego, which is a lot of money on how much we invest in Lego, as you've seen in one of our past videos, and continue to get the ball rolling. But anyways, absolutely great questions. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below so I can answer them in our next video. As always, subscribe if you haven't already, like today's video, and we'll see you in the next Ask Me Anything. Peace out.